Hello family, welcome to my channel. I will be discussing poverty guidelines for petitioners and joint sponsors for I-130, and I know that this is going to raise a lot of questions, but sit tight, let's discuss this together. As you can see, I'm on the official website for travel.state, and also I'll be making use of this website from uscis. Let's start from here, which is Affidavit of Support, FAQs. This is a place you can come and get all the information you need to file for your I-864. I'm going to leave the link to this website in the description. There are tons of questions and answers on this page. Now let's start with who can be a financial sponsor. A financial sponsor can be a petitioner, you the petitioner, and must be at least 18 years old or either a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Okay, so this means you will be a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. As a petitioner, if you're looking out for a joint sponsor, you need to get a joint sponsor that is either a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. And another thing stated here is the sponsor must also have a domicile, that's a residence in the United States. You, the petitioner, for you to petition for anyone, you must reside in the United States. And if you're going to make use of a joint sponsor, the joint sponsor also needs to reside in the United States. What are poverty guidelines, which we are discussing today? Petitioners must meet a minimum income level called the Federal Poverty Guidelines in order to financially sponsor a visa applicant. And the poverty guidelines in effect on the filing date of an affidavit of support are used to determine whether the income requirement is met. We are going to find out the income requirement. You can find these guidelines on USCIS website. They have attached it here. Still, I'm going to leave this other link in the description. What happens if the petitioner doesn't have enough income? There are two choices that you can make. The first one is to have a joint sponsor. So you, the petitioner, if you're not making enough income, you need a joint sponsor. That's the first choice. And the second one is you can also use income of a household member to meet the poverty guidelines. And if you're using this, that means the house member needs to file I-864A. Note that you can use your asset, which I'm not going to talk about in this video. If not, it's going to be too long. How do I calculate my household size? The first one, the form I-864 asks for the financial sponsor's household size. How do you calculate it? If a sponsor, you must include your spouse. If you live all by yourself and you are sponsoring your spouse, you must include your spouse. If you live with your spouse and maybe you are filing for your kids or your parents, you must also include your spouse. No matter what, if you're married, you need to include your spouse. Secondly, any children by birth, marriage, or adoption living in the sponsor's residence. Anyone that lives in your residence, you need to add them up as a household size. Anyone else claimed as a dependent on the sponsor's tax return for the most recent year, regardless of whether they are related to the sponsor or have the same principal address as the sponsor. Whether they are related to you or not, if you claim them as a dependent on your tax return, you need to add them as one of your household size. Then the principal visa applicant, the person that is migrating, you are sponsoring, you as the petitioner or the joint sponsor, you need to add that person by default to the household size. Any derivative applicant who plans to immigrate within 6 months. If you are sponsoring your spouse has kids or whoever that is going to migrate with him or her, then you need to add those derivatives applicants to your household size. For instance, if your spouse is migrating with his kids, which is 2 kids, and then the 2 kids is not coming immediately, but within 6 months they are going to be in the United States, you need to count them, the 2 kids, as one of your household size. Any other people in the United States whom the sponsor is supporting on a different form, I-864. If the obligation has not been terminated. How do you terminate the obligation? How you know you are not obligated to the person anymore is maybe the person is now a United States citizen. Any non-dependent siblings, parents for adult children who reside in the sponsor's household. They are not dependent, but they live or reside in your home, and if they complete a Form 864A, then you need to add them as one of your household size. Let's check out the minimum income requirement. Okay, so I'm here in uscis website. For the 48 states, including the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the US Virgin Island, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Island. These two have their own minimum income requirement. But if you're not in these two states, you belong here. Okay, so let me click on this table. This table, we are going to make use of the sponsor's household size, the 100% of HHS poverty guideline, and 125%. But for this is more of for sponsors on active duty in the US Armed Forces who are petitioning for their spouse or child. So if you're not a member of US Armed Forces, that means you belong here. Any other sponsors, they will pay 125%. As you can see, the difference is not much, maybe $5,000 difference. We have already talked about how you can calculate your household size. If you're an individual and you are filing for your spouse, by default, your spouse has automatically been added as one of your household size. Instead of one, it's going to be two. Even though your spouse maybe is still in their home country, they are yet to migrate, but US has included your spouse as one of your household size. I don't know if that makes sense. If your household size is 2, that means your poverty guideline 125% is going to be $24,650. If you are married and then you have a child, you want to sponsor someone, no, it's not going to work out if you're making $31,075. If you're a household size of 4, you need $37,500. But if you have a question and you are still not clear on how to calculate your household size, please leave it in the comment section and I will attend to it. Household size of 5, you are going to need $43,925. Household size of 6, $50,350. Household size of 7, you need to make $56,775,000 annually, approximately $57,000. Household size of 8, you need $63,200. If you are in the US Armed Forces, you don't need $63,200, you need $50,560. If you have household size of 9 or 10 or more than 10, you need to add $5,140 for each additional person. That's if you're a member of US Armed Forces. For all other sponsors like me that is not a member of US Armed Forces, you need to add $6,425 for each additional person you add. So that will help you to know how much you need to sponsor or co-sponsor the beneficiary or the principal applicant. Let's head to Alaska, and then we are seeing something different here because of the high living in Alaska. Okay, people in US Armed Forces, you already know what you need. For a household size of 2, you need $30,800 if you live in Alaska. Household size of 3, you need $38,838. Household size of 4, you need $46,875, approximately $47,000. Household size of 5, you need $54,913, which is approximately $55,000. Household size of 6, you need $62,950, approximately $63,000. Household size of 7, you need $70,988, approximately $71,000. And then household size of 8, you need 79. If you need to add more persons into your household size, you need to add 6,430 for each additional person. All other sponsors that is not members of US Armed Forces, you need to add $8,038 for each additional person in your household size. If we move to Hawaii, we are still seeing something different. Sponsors household size for 2 persons, you need $28,350. Household size of 3, you need $35,738. Household size of 4, you need $43,125. Household size of 5, you need $50,513. Household size of 6, you need $57,900, approximately $58,000. Household size of 7, you need $65,288. Household size of 8, you need $72,675, approximately $73,000. Why I'm approximating this is because if you make exactly this amount, they are still not going to let it go. I'm telling you based on the client I've worked with. They are going to give you RFA. Okay, they are going to tell you to bring a joint sponsor. So you need to make a little bit above this. Sponsors on active duty in the US Armed Forces. For additional person, you need to add 5,910. I would say approximately $6,000. And for other sponsors just like me, you need $7,387 for each additional person you add to your household size. I hope this was helpful. Please, if you have any questions, don't forget to leave it in the comment section. I will attend to it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell as to know when I upload new videos. Thank you guys for watching and see you in my next video. Peace.